You probably know that feeling of just punching and kicking with your strong side. And then you switch over to your weak side, where you feel like you have no power and the technique is maybe even worse than on the other side. And so bro, that's what I'm going to teach you today. We have 6 ways today on how you can balance both of those out and make both your strength, become a more dynamic fighter and not just have one weakness and one strength there. And by the way bro, I myself had that problem, so that's why I made this video. I myself felt that my left round kick was really good, but my right round kick was not even near to that, and I fixed that, so that's why I made this video. Now first of all is use your weak hand in day-to-day life. Now for example, when you brush your teeth, you're right-handed, you normally don't use your left hand, okay? You normally don't brush your teeth with your left hand. But if you want to get comfortable on the other side, you need to use that more. So for example, when you brush our teeth, okay, we have 2 regions in the brain. This right here is, for example, for this hand, this right here is for this hand, okay? They are a bit crossed, okay? But when we're weak on this side, this hand is a bit weaker. It's a bit harder for us to do a lot of things with this and so on, okay? Vice versa as well. Now, when we use that hand more, new neural connections and so on build in that side of the brain, and it becomes more comfortable for us to use that side and as well than the other, okay? And so we want to practice that. Now, a lot of things, again, that can help with this is brushing your teeth with the other side, yes. Another thing is, for example, as well eating with maybe the other side. Other thing is writing with your different side. It's a bit harder, but it still works. And as well learning an instrument, for example, a piano or a guitar. But just to fix one side, bro, you don't need to learn a new skill just to get your kicks better, okay? So you don't need to do that. Just brush your teeth with the other side. Sometimes right, sometimes with your left. Your writing will not be good, but that's really important. And as well, just cooking with the other hand and so on and so on. Just use your weak hand more in your day-to-day life. Now, number 2 is reps. Reps are the magic cure, okay? So when you feel that your left round kick is weak, then just practice your left round kick more. When you feel that your right hook is weak or your left hook is weak, then just practice them more. Really, really simple. And what you do is you don't practice your left kick and your right round kick in one session. If you want to really focus on that, you can just do one session where you just focus on that kick. Okay, it doesn't even need to be a session. Just take a few, 20 minutes a day and do that. And then you just practice your, for example, now when we talk about the round kick, we just practice the round kick, okay? I myself, I practice the right round kick because I want to get that better. So what do? I do 100, 200 reps, okay? And now so what do I do? 100 to 200 reps, okay? Now, it's not about cardio, it's not about that. We don't want to get full power and just get ourselves exhausted. That's also not good when we want to have good technique. As well, we will get a bit exhausted. It's a bit of a workout. You can do 100 reps is enough probably, and you don't do them fast. So for example, with the round kick, we don't do those speed kicks like Haggerty. We don't do that. As well with the hooks, we don't do speed hooks and try to fill those 100 reps as quickly as possible. We do them a bit slower, not too slow as well, but we do them just normal speed, okay? Normal speed, maybe a bit slower, but normal speed just to generate a bit power. So instead of speed shots, we do a bit more power shots, okay? And then we just put in the reps. Now what we do as well is we take breaks between those reps, okay? Now we do 100 reps. In those, if you just want to do 100 reps, you do 20 reps, okay? Let's say the better way is to do 200 reps because we get a bit more room in there. Let's just say again, every 50 reps, we take a break. Every 50 reps, we take a break. And that's really important. I feel that's the most important thing that you can do to really get that down. Now, one example why those breaks work is school, okay? So when you are in school and you have a math equation to solve and you're just there and you do not get why this is working or how this is working, how do you do that? You just sit there. And you just think how this is working, and you cannot over obsess to the 2 hours to the 3 hours, and maybe then you will eventually get how it works, just sitting there with brain fog and everything. Or you just take you do the 20 minutes, you try to solve it, you don't know, you take 20 minutes off, or in that example we do 3 minutes off, but with math you probably need a bit more time, but you just take 20 minutes off and then you get back, and then you just see oh, now I know why. Now I know how this is doing. Because your brain processed the information when you took a break. Because you're not focused on the task right now. Your brain processed the information, you took a break, and it's easier for your brain to really get that down. And that's the same with skill learning and so on, okay? So when your technique is worse on the other side, and we do the reps, or when your power and so on is worse on the other side, then we just take breaks in between those reps, 2 minute, 1 minute breaks. Just let your brain process the information better, and then our kicks will just be better on those reps and on the next reps. And then as well, we just focus on making the technique better as well on those next reps that we do. So every 50 reps, we try to make it better. That's just how you do that. And that's just how you make your technique cleaner as well. Just doing those reps and taking breaks in between to process the information better. Now the next thing is sparring and using it more often. That's as well a key and really important to do. Why is your left round kick weak? Why is your right round kick weak? Why is your left uppercut weak? Whatever. Why is it weak? Because you don't use it enough. So just use it more. Drill it more and use it more in sparring. So maybe the next sparring, handicap yourself a bit and say, like, I'm not going to use my right hook in the sparring. I'm not going to use my right hook, just left hook or just left uppercut. You don't need to handicap yourself completely and say, oh, I'm just using the left hook. You can also do, I need to use that more today. But the best thing that I see is just doing a few sparring sessions where you handicap yourself fully. You say, fully, I'm just going to use the left hook, okay? As well like the kicks and so on. But if we look at the hooks, I'm just using my left hook, okay? I can use my right and my left uppercut, but for this, I feel that my left hook is weak, so I'm just using that, okay? And so I go in sparring, and I just use that left hook, okay? That's how you get better with using that. That's just handicapping yourself, and then you get more comfortable. The next sparring, you will see that it becomes a lot more easier. The next sparring, it's just normal for you, okay? And it's a strength of you. So using that more, really important. By the way, you can get 24/7 access to me in my community called Combat School. So when you join there, you can DM me every time you want when you have a problem or questions and so on. You DM me, for example, you were just in sparring, you got hit with this and this a lot, and then just DM me. You say, bro, I need help with this, and I will give you a solution to that as well. We do group coaching calls every week, and we have courses in there like the Soviet strength and conditioning course, and so on and so on. So join Combat School now. It's $39 a month. Price is going up soon. And the next thing is really important when you feel like you have one power on this hand, but not one power on this hand. Now, it's just simply doing unilateral training. Okay, so just doing one-sided training. Now that doesn't mean you just train one side and then you just go out of the gym, then you will get a disbalance on the other arm. But what that means is just doing one side here, a few reps there, like 10 reps there, and then again 10 reps there. But not doing this, okay? When you do a bench press, for example, we normally use both hands. Now we do a one-arm bench press and just do it here and then on the other side. Now why we do that, for example, when we are in the bench press, when we do that just alone, we focus more on the arm alone, on the weak arm, okay? We focus more on that arm. Now when you do a bench press, the more powerful arm takes over, okay? It's like supporting it a bit. And so I get less gains on this arm. But when we now focus purely on that and do one-arm presses or one-armed, for example, Bulgarian split squats for the legs, then we just get like the same power on both, and we do not get support from the stronger leg, stronger arm, and so on. So that's why we do unilateral training, to balance it out and to get the same power on both hands. That's why we do unilateral training. So for example, again, just a bench press with one arm and then you go on the other arm, or for example, a Bulgarian split squat on just one arm again, or shoulder press on just one arm. That's how you like balance the power out. Now the last thing is record and visualize and match the power. Okay, so you do the technique, you record yourself, you compare it to the better technique. When you see that your round kick technique on this side is better than the other, you compare them, or you feel like the power is worse, then you just compare them and you see maybe you're doing something that takes away the power or that just makes the technique different. You compare them, okay? And then you visualize when you saw the technique on the other side that is better, you visualize yourself throwing the other round kick like this, okay? You just sit there, you saw how the other technique looks, you just sit there and you visualize it. It sounds like it's not working. It sounds like it's just something that, yeah, like visualize. Bro, I'm going to say to you, visualizing is probably one of the best things to make your technique better, okay? Visualizing the technique cleanly, okay? Just visualizing yourself having a clean body hook, a clean whatever. This right there just increases your technique so much. But it just effing works, okay? It just works, believe me. And so doing this, really important, and then matching the power. And matching the power is you are on the heavy back and you just throw with the right side. You just throw it out. And you see how the power feels there. And now you throw with the other hand and you feel how the power feels there, a bit weaker. And then you try to match that power. And so how do you do that? Is really try hit through the target. Really get more power into that and match the power on how it is on the other side. You feel how it feels there and you try letting it feel as well like you hit with the right hand, okay? So you just want to match that power out and getting really intention behind it and really just trying to hit through the target, really rotating and doing it explosively and matching the power, okay? That's really important. You will not have 100% the same power, but it helps you a bit more. And just really do that sounds like bah, pow. But it's just like you get closer to that. And as well, it's normal that you have one arm that is stronger. We just don't want that one arm feels weak and one arm just feels like we can hit like Pereira. Okay, we don't want that. We want that both arms feel good and both arms are our strength and not our weakness. Okay, so that's it with the video, guys. Join Combat School now, link in the description. So that's it with the video, guys. Join Combat School now in the description. I see you in there.